2021 had a lot of great game releases, and one that I unfortunately missed out on was Psychonauts 2. It's a game that I feel like got a lot of praise and was something that people were really looking forward to, but I wasn't. And the only reason was because I never played Psychonauts 1. So I figured I really should play the first one before I dive into the second one, so let's take a look at Psychonauts 1 and let's see if it really does hold up well, and if it is a really great game or just a cult classic.
Psychonauts is a puzzle platformer by Double Fine Productions. The studio was formed by Tim Schafer after his departure from LucasArts and the decline in popularity of the point-and-click adventure genre. Schafer and some of his former colleagues developed Psychonauts in 4 years before its release in 2005, and it was published by Majesco. Microsoft was going to initially publish the game to promote the original Xbox, but pulled out due to internal struggles. Commercially, Psychonauts was seen as a failure, but critically it has become a cult classic and well remembered today. Its main theme involves a group known as the Psychonauts, who enter the minds of other people. Our protagonist, Raz, is a young psychic who wishes to join the Psychonauts, and this game shows his journey as he learns more abilities and helps people with their mental issues by entering their minds.
Now hold on, if we're really going to dive into a review of Psychonauts, the best way for me to convey the ideas that I have is for you to get inside my head. So come on in, let's go. Oh, ow, that does kind of hurt, doesn't it? Ah! Yeah, it's not that much different in here. It's still just my game room, except sometimes games that have emotionally scarred me appear in my hands at random. Oh, fuck!
The themes of mental health coupled with intricate level designs is what really makes Psychonauts shine. Each world presents a strange new land to explore. Typically, a character will be in some sort of distress, and Raz will enter the mind to help sort out their troubles, while also figuring out a way to advance the overarching goal of Raz, which is to save all the kids of the camp. I quite like the locations in this game, and there's even some subtle mind terminology like emotional baggage and memory vaults, which are clever and cute. It is brilliant in its creativity and has massive potential for new locations and mechanics. As you explore mental minds, you earn Psychonaut merit badges, which grant you new abilities. Things like fire, levitating, telekinesis, and so on. The gameplay design still has faint feelings of the point-and-click titles of Double Fine's past, as the game becomes more of a puzzle to discover the path forward and less on the action. Your psycho abilities for the most part replace items, as you would see in like a point-and-click game, and you learn with more different ways to use your psychic powers to interact with the world for progression. Sadly, this is where most of my problems with the game arise. Platforming feels a little bit archaic. As the game is over 15 years old at this point, I can excuse it, but at times it still feels stiff or unresponsive. The levitate ability kind of breaks certain platforming challenges with its versatility, yet the discovery of alternative solutions kind of fits in the spirit of this game. Combat also feels lacking, as the difficulty curve really flatlined towards the later half of the game, where enemies became more annoying than hindering. I also hate how the droppable ammo and health pickups bounce around like crazy and become so difficult to pick up. Raz really needs a Sparks-like companion to help out here. The game's engine definitely feels its age too, as there were multiple spots where I would get stuck floating in an environment and had to reload a save to get out, and I also had some instances of the game crashing on me. I was playing the release that's on Steam, so maybe the Game Pass version runs better, I'm not sure. At this point, I haven't even mentioned one of the bigger aspects of this game, which is the writing and the voice acting. This game definitely has that Tim Schafer flavor of humor, and if that's not for you, you may get tired of this game quickly. Personally, out of his work, I've only played Grim Fandango, and even as a fan of point-and-click games, I really wasn't a fan of this one, as I felt its solution skewed towards the line of illogical and insanity. But I do appreciate it for hitting a niche audience. Psychonauts for me didn't grab me until the later half of the game where you're in the insane asylum. The Milkman conspiracy is often regarded as the standout level of the game, enough to even have its own Wikipedia page, and it's rightfully justified for really capturing the spirit of the game while presenting enough subtle information for the player to really understand the mind of Mr. Boyd. With these later levels, you really get to explore and learn more about the person that Raz is trying to help overcome their struggles. I think that really captures the essence and really the potential that Psychonauts has, and to me, that's its biggest strength. While the Milkman Conspiracy is a very good level, I think personally my favorite level was the one where you're assisting Fred Bonaparte, which is like this board game setup where he's battling Napoleon. It had like this Risk-type vibe, and I really enjoyed it. I also got a kick out of the Lungfish level. To me, that was just where the peak comedy of this game hit. However, the writing to me fell flat in a few areas, especially the romance between Raz and Lily, which just felt really forced. The story at large, involving the summer camp and the plot to steal children's brains, is passable as a story and a bit simplistic. However, it did not stand out to me as much as the sheer potential that the minds of others has for level design and character complexity. I think if the game was based on that aspect and cut out the stereotypical collectathon world map a la the campsite and focused more on different mind levels, it would have been more enjoyable. Anytime I wasn't in someone's mind, I was just waiting to get back there. There's some downtime where you have to do things around the camp, and it felt more like a drag there. The pacing issue isn't too bad, as the game is about 10 hours long, give or take, but still enough for me to get bored at times. Since the release of Psychonauts, Double Fine has done more than fine in recent years. Maybe you could say they've done double fine. They released other games like Brutal Legends and Broken Age, and since being acquired by Microsoft, have solved their publishing issues of the past. And Psychonaut 2's launch in 2021 was met with much praise and recognition. Psychonauts, at the end of the day, is brilliant in its ideas, but may lack a bit in its gameplay execution. My biggest takeaway is that a modern example of the Psychonauts level formula, with added creativity and more modern writing, would be the peak for this type of game. And that's what makes me see how coveted a sequel was for Psychonauts. If anything, it has given me more hope that Psychonauts 2 will kind of meet those expectations that I now have of it based on its reputation. But that's everything for Psychonauts 1. Is this a game that you still look forward to revisiting? Let me know, and in the meantime, thank you for watching.